right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us here today, and thank you so much to Brent and Mars for inviting me to be a part of this. It's a beautiful September afternoon, and I'm just excited to be here playing some tunes for you. So you're going to hear from, these will be some songs from the second album that I'm in the process of mixing and mastering right now. And you're going to hear some tunes from the third album that I wrote during our lovely time of quarantine. And you might even hear a couple of tunes from the fourth album because I got busy during quarantine. So,
Nice.
Yeah, here we go.
Awesome.
Picked up a cup of yesterday's coffee, sugar sweet and penny candy cheap. Can I share a cup of your troubles? Put a little sweet cream right on top. Said you like a little something in your chocolate, cinnamon sprinkled on your tongue. Don't tempt me to deliver this flower to your mouth. Sweetness only lasts till you walk right on out. Will you dance for me, sugar? Shake that feather tail, strutting out to catch the eye of any passerby. Will you dance for me, sugar, while I'm making my way out? I'll turn around and find the sound of laughter in the smoke. Something so simple can be so bittersweet, making movie scenes right out on the street. Tell me why you held me in your arms, so much more than tender warmth, just one kiss. But wasn't you thought you'd missed, tossing back gin and tonics, sugar blitzed? For me, sugar, shake that feather tail, strutting out to catch the eye of any passerby. Will you dance for me, sugar, while I'm making my way out? I'll turn around and find the sound of laughter in the smoke. Will you dance for me?
You caught me. That off guard.
Oh, thank you. I hope that's a compliment.
Yes.
Unknown. Yeah, no, that one's a lot of fun. And the last time I played that was at the Waiting Room. It was at the last show that I got to do before we all went in lockdown, opening for this guy, Neil Francis. And it was a heck of a lot of fun
Cool.
with my full band. But
What
yeah.
night was that?
It was actually Leap Day. It was February 29th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was definitely a night to remember.
Right towards the end of the deal there.
Yeah, for sure. So this next one, lately I've been playing this. When I recorded this one on my first album, it was completely solo, just guitar and vocals. But lately I've been playing it with drums and keys and bass, and that's really brought a whole new level to it. It's a song called Stumbling Back. Once under the brightly burning lights, crooning for that velvet curtain rise, waiting for the glamour-feathered showgirl eyes, stumbling back to velvet days. Climb back behind this worn-down stage, laughing, feeling free, commiserate. Take these tattered rags before they tear my sweet, stumbling back to velvet days. Drink from the ashes of our love affair. Taste the bitter absinthe on your tongue. Knock back one more, swallow your regrets, honey dear. Stumbling back to yesterday. Stumbling back to yesterday. Thank you.
Very cool.
So a necessary part of any set that I play is a lot of tuning, so I apologize in advance for that.
Oh, we can talk to you in the meantime, right?
Perfect. Got the best company for it. Of course, if I were really polite, I would turn off my guitar so that y'all don't have to hear it. That would be the best thing.
But it's our basement, so.
Yeah, and it's a studio, so it's like, yeah. Yeah, this guitar is starting to feel the change of seasons. So if I snap a string today, I might make today more exciting, but it might happen.
Make plenty of guitars, so.
So I see. So this next song is the opening track on my third album. Like I said, I've been busy during this quarantine time. And yeah, I wrote it after the last show that I got to see, actually, Kamasi, Washington at the Slowdown. the smoke in my direction. Let my body shield you from the wind. I think that there may be some misconception on the nature of this little thing. Talk to me in whispers and in wordless code. Grin and ear to ear, some secret joke. Cast a wayward glance over your shoulder. Colder than the winter wind we stumbled from. Will I let myself be seen again, believe again, get swept right off of my feet again, for only a taste of happiness. Take a look around this crowded bar. Wrap your arms around me while we dance. One more chance to feel you standing next to me. One more night pretending we could be. Will I let myself be seen again, believe again, get swept right off of my feet again, for only a taste of happiness. Tempt me with your whiskey, whisper songs into my ear. Realize we harmonize with every little thing. Will you let yourself be seen again, believe again, get swept right off of your feet again, for only a taste of happiness.
That's funny. Mars has a thing about songs that don't resolve, and I love it.
Oh man, I got you good today.
No, well.
I love it.
That's
But
like
I
the majority of
have to
them.
turn stuff off and on, and
That's no.
and
You,
that makes it even
there's a
worse.
couple of Steely Dan songs though that leave out that last chord, and it just drives her crazy because it doesn't. She's waiting for it. It's not there.
Oh man, I am sorry in advance for today because that's like my MO.
Good. I dig it. I like it. I'm enjoying it. It's cool. Some beautiful guitar work there, by the way.
Thank you. All right. So this next one is kind of, I envision it once we get the instrumentation and stuff on it. I kind of envision it as a ballad, maybe like a little bit of a western tinged ballad. So y'all will have to let me know in the comments what instruments you would hear on it. First night, her brother's ashes were laid down. She sat with him on the hill, saying nothing. They parted in silence at sunrise on the hill under the big blue summer sky. I hope he is happy now. I hope he is free. Down by the banks of the river, she put his name in a green glass bottle and set sail. She wants him to watch the water breathe. To the city, I hope she is happy now. I hope she is free. Across the hill, the stones are marked with stars instead of crosses. His name is crowned with agate and obsidian. She sets another rock beside his name. Still the same, every prayer that she makes. I hope she's not lonely now. I hope she is free. They're having a picnic underneath a willow tree. Her mother tells her stories of the girl she used to be. I hope she is wild now. I hope she is free.
Very nice.
Every time, Mars, every ending goes out to you.
You. Aw. Take them. Take them. So did she bury the guy?
That is for the listener to determine.
Yeah, okay.
As with most murder ballads and ghost stories. Yeah, that is a story that can be told in the liner notes.
Nice.
Someday.
I will buy it.
Perfect.
You have liner notes?
Maybe. We'll see.
How do you get liner notes these days?
I don't know. Well, see, that's the thing. I've been kind of brainstorming how I want to do my next album release and whether I want the physical release. If I do liner notes, it might take the form of a zine that accompanies the album. So, like, you know, even a zine with a QR code would cost significantly less than pressing a bunch of vinyl or CDs. So, you know, just thinking about alternative ways to distribute during this digital age. But I personally, I always feel like an intimate connection to liner notes. I think it's really, really important. And it's something that we kind of lose in streaming services because you don't get the story behind the songs as much. And it's one of the best parts of like going to see live music and chatting with the songwriters afterward. You know, you get to hear that side of it. So.
Yeah, Johnny, by the way, Johnny Iguana on his new jazz CD, he had a poster that has a bunch of liner notes on it. He posted it on Facebook. It unfolds.
cool.
And it's got a huge story. So going for some physical copies there, trying to get something out there.
Awesome. Yeah, my guitar is definitely feeling the change of seasons here.
Yeah.
All right. So this next tune is called Waitin' on a Sign. sky turning into gray, turning into periwinkle haze, another day starting to fade. Wake up from your dreams, open up the window to the trees, feel the wind on your cheek. Talk a little longer. I can't face the night all by myself, trying to breathe. 'Cause I'm waiting on a sign, waiting on the world to pass me by. Another day, got no direction, baby, but a broken compass now, waiting on the world to turn me around, turn me around. Stop, wander when you walk, look out across the autumn ceiling of the trees. Take the time you need, take up all the space you need to breathe a little deeper. 'Cause I'm waiting on a sign, waiting on the world to pass me by. Another day, yeah. Got no direction, baby, but a broken compass now, waiting on the world to turn me around, turn me around. Whisper low just before you go. That's the way it goes, I know. Hearts made out of stone. How close we are. Hold me in your arms. Watch the evening stars explode from a million years ago. 'Cause I'm waiting on a sign, waiting on the world to pass me by. Another day, yeah. Got no direction, baby, but a broken compass now, waiting on the world to turn me around, turn me around. Waiting on a sign, waiting on the world to pass me by.
Nice. Very nice.
Thank you.
Close to a resolving ending for you there.
Yeah, we're getting there, Mars.
Barbara Torchword is requesting breathless?
That
Or is she breathless?
That's my mother under an alias. And I don't think that's the name of a song that I play, so unless
she's
it's one that I
breathless.
haven't written yet, I suppose she is, yes.
Or
Yeah.
or needs
Oh, that could
No.
be a response. Maybe she's enjoying it. Maybe she's breathless from the excitement.
Yes, she must be.
I think I've met your mom.
Ah, you have, yes. Yeah, she came to a couple shows out at the club.
Yeah. I think she and I have some people in common, I believe.
Yes.
okay.
I don't remember who they all are, but I think that's the case.
I think I do remember that being a point of conversation at one point. All right, so this next tune, I'm really, really excited for this to be on the record because I invited this wonderful fiddle player from Memphis, Alice Hasten, who I met at Folk Alliance International, to record some fiddle on this track. So down the road in June when I release this album, I'm really excited for y'all to hear her fiddle playing. All right, now stay in tune for me. You hear that guitar? You hear that? Helps if you talk to it. Oh, I've enjoyed a scoundrel or two, or maybe a few too many. I've tasted their names upon my tongue, but a Scotch and honey, but all too soon they're bitter blue, too tainted to remember. Well, maybe it's time to wash away, to turn away from mine. Oh, wash away all the bitterness. Try to keep this lingering bliss. Oh, wash away every trickster's kiss. Just remember this. How did my old name taste to you when you touched me through the threadbare quilts? Was it sweet with spices, cardamom, coriander kiss? Did I taste to you like licorice, like star anise, rich as the earth, when I tangled up my breath in yours, wanting so much more than only this? Oh, wash away all the bitterness. Try to keep this lingering bliss. Oh, wash away every trickster's kiss. Just remember this. I give to you a single wish, my scoundrel sweet. Does it crumble at your fingertips, at your willing lips, leaves on the earth? Oh, wash away all the bitterness. Try to keep this lingering bliss. Oh, wash away every trickster's kiss. Just remember this. And for you, Mars, I resolved
She
back
did.
to
She put
the
that,
key.
I noticed that. Put that last chord
And
in
for
there.
you, Barbara says, I'm breathless at your gift.
Thanks, Mom. All right, just checking my set list here to see what's next. Okay. Yeah. Well, so far the Guild Starfire is holding out. We haven't broken a string yet, which is amazing because it is falling out of tune like nothing else. So I apologize to the ears of anyone who's noticed.
No, it's you're hanging in there.
Yeah, my baby's hanging in there. This is my baby right here. And she served me well.
Got a nice tone.
Thank you. Yeah, I got her a ground floor guitar here locally.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I'm going to play one more song, and then I think I'd like to take a little break
Perfect.
before we switch instruments. All right, so this next tune, This is called See Me in September, and it may or may not end up being the first single for the new album. Won't you see me in September? Or is it just another afternoon, caught up in the sound of you pouring from my tongue, this lovelorn wound you gave to me? Won't you see me on a summer's day, before the marigolds fall away? Take a petal from my hand, painted yellow gold, to remember me in the morning. But I guess we're just two tattered hearts, getting through September. The garden of the zodiac, among the spider webs and the twine and threads and things that gather dust. Do you know how long I've been waiting just for this? Not a kiss, not a touch, not a whispered love affair. Just someone to hold my hand, take me there. But I never looked beyond these wanton days, never looked beyond September. Won't you see me in September, playing songs on an old friend's porch? Won't you see me in the lantern light, caught up in the spectacled spark of your eye? And I'm breathing in and breathing out, walking through September.
All right, we're going to move over to the bar, folks. I got, let's turn a light over here. I got a camera already set on the other end. I've been prepping, Mama. It's all good. So, we do this.
I might tune up my mandolin while we transition over.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
All right, I guess I could put myself on camera. Let's do that. Let's go to... Thanks for hanging with us, folks. This has been a really interesting set. I totally dig it. Look at that. We got a dog, and my belly is not quite as prominent as it once was. Looking in the camera, I'm not embarrassed anymore. Sucking in a little bit, but dog has taken some weight off of us.
bet. Yeah.
So, welcome, and that was a beautiful set. So I've always wondered, because your stuff is so different than anything I've heard, and I'm sure there's stuff out there in that space that's similar somewhere, but nothing I'm familiar with. How do you? I mean, it's what's interesting to me is the melodies are never the expected against the chords. There's always a challenge, and the scale is always not the obvious one, which I really dig. It's not the here's the sweet spot, I'm going to take the easy route. You're always pushing the edge on the scale. I kind of like that. Where do you get that?
Well, thank you. I think a lot of that kind of almost a jazz sensibility comes from some of the singer-songwriters that I listen to who incorporate that into their work. I think of like, especially with the material that I've been writing recently, a lot of that's drawn from Joni Mitchell's Hejira album, where she kind of worked with Jaco Pastorius, and there's a couple of other singer-songwriters who incorporate that kind of melodic enclosure.
It's cool because it's and I mean this as a compliment. It's difficult. It challenges you to listen and to kind of. I mean, it's so complex compared to the obvious. And even though the chords you're playing are all really cool too. I dig that. But to me, I like it because it does challenge the listener, and it piques my interest. I mean, I'm always trying like, oh, wow, that is an interesting line against, and it's all there, but it's just not the one that's. And I dig it, man. That would take some discipline, I think, to find those. Because to me, I mean, it's the easy thing, rock and roll, right? If you just find that the root note, and you just jump all over it and move a little bit, but you're always like, it reminds me of some of the stuff Sting does actually in his writing. He occasionally will go deeper on those melodies and stuff, and I kind of like it. And then from a it's hard to say that there's angst in your music, but I kind of there's almost
angst.
There's some angst just in the lyrics too, but just in the approach is again it's challenging, it's difficult. I love it. It's really cool. And what's neat hearing you here is because when we had you at our pub, it's noisy. It's a Friday afternoon, whatever, and we can focus a little bit. Mars has the headphones. She heard you, but. It's really hard to, in that environment, enjoy it as much as it is here, where it's isolated and everything sounds exactly. You can hear everything you need. I'm hearing more in it than I did before. I recognize, I think some of it, but it's definitely neat to hear it as it was intended. Your stuff is definitely. It's definitely you have to focus kind of, which is cool. I mean, it engages
extremely
the listener.
literate.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
I like it. And so we know a little bit about you. You're from the Omaha area?
Yes, born and raised in Council Bluffs. Went to UNO, so I moved to Omaha in about 2013 to start school, and now I'm working as a graduate research assistant and working on a master's in public administration.
And for a bit there, you were in Vermilion, and we were following that because our daughter graduated from Vermilion.
Right, I forgot about that.
And so you did. I know. It's funny because she was there 4 years. We visited a lot. She had an apartment, all that kind of stuff. And then you were posting like the garden and some stuff, and I'm like, how come we never saw this? And she's like, oh yeah, that was there. Well, Jesus there.
Taking us.
Yeah,
but
the Shakespeare Garden.
We did go to the museum a couple times, which is amazing.
Oh, it's incredible.
It is, and we've already talked about it on the show, but if people haven't been there, I mean, that is a short drive, and it's so rewarding.
It is. Right now, it is closed for construction
I think
right
they're
now.
expanding it, right?
Yep, so I think they're reopening in 2021 is the plan. But they're going to have potentially a much bigger chunk of their collection on display.
I think they told us they only had like a third of their stuff on display or something like that.
And it's incredible stuff.
And it's just amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what's cool is, being a rock and roller, there's obvious rock and roll stuff, but there's stuff you never even knew. Like, I had no idea that Stradivarius made guitars and
cellos.
Yep. I had no idea.
Yeah.
And you couldn't have convinced me of that until I got there and saw them.
Yeah, the Amati cello is my favorite because it's got that beautiful painting on the back, and they have it in a glass case so you can walk around it.
That's cool.
It's a really cool one.
Yeah, I think one of Katrina's roommates worked there briefly.
Oh, wow.
So,
yeah, no, that was it was an interesting time for
what do you
sure.
think of that? I mean, from your personality, was the town that size? Is it too small for you to?
It was a challenge, and it's. I went there to study English. I started a master's in English. I decided it wasn't necessarily the route that I wanted to take. I still write fiction, but I do it outside of the academic structure. But for me, it was definitely a challenge existing in a town of that size. I found myself like going up to Sioux Falls a lot.
Yeah.
Got to hang out with the poetry community there, which is really supportive.
Sioux
and
Falls is
wonderful.
a neat town.
It really is, yeah. And then I came back down to Omaha a lot to work with my band, do shows, write material, and
and
so
did
a lot of
you
driving.
sneak over to Yankton ever?
I didn't, and it was only like a 20-minute drive
it's
west,
actually
right?
a surprisingly larger city compared to.
I never found my way there.
Yeah,
I guess it was
I
drowning
was
in piles
surprised.
of
I went
grading.
there. I almost moved there as a kid, and my dad was a golf pro, and he got offered they have one country club up there, and he got offered that job, and I think I want to say I was just getting into high school and the middle school, and I was like, no way, man, I don't want to leave the big town for that place, because we went up to Gavin's Point and checked it out, but anyway, so I stayed here, and there it is. I don't know what would have changed. Who knows? It would have been a totally different life. But so you've got multiple releases already. You're working on some. Do you have a couple of bands or a band?
Yeah, so I have a couple projects that I'm working with right now. My primary is just Virginia Kathryn, so the original material that I'm writing. But I've also been collaborating with a couple of friends on some co-writes. I might be part of some kind of a progressive folk project here in the near future. But I've also been writing a lot of songs with my friend Nidal Kada under the name. Actually, I don't know what band name he decided on, but we've been writing some songs together. We released one of them for the NPR Tiny Desk contest.
Oh, cool!
So you can catch that on my YouTube channel, which I think is under Virginia Kathryn.
And did you? You mentioned you had a show right before the end of when you could have shows regularly. Did it? I don't expect you were the type that was booked constantly, but did it have you change your plans a bit when it first started happening?
Yes. When it first started happening, I didn't have that many shows on the books, thankfully, that I would have had to postpone or cancel. But when it started, I tried a couple of the live streams. Live streaming from my bedroom really doesn't feel the same to me. Being in this kind of an environment is really creatively invigorating. This is awesome. But I've definitely switched gears a lot because I didn't know anything about recording when I started this lockdown period. And so I decided to get a little interface that was recommended to me by some engineer friends. And so I got my little interface, borrowed some equipment from friends, and tracked and mixed.
Which software did you end up?
Logic. I ended up with Logic.
You're a Mac person.
Yes,
okay,
I am a Mac person.
Yeah,
so.
Logic is a great tool. It's an interesting thing. They've all kind of evolved to where they're getting pretty similar. So if you know one, you can find your way around through another one. But it's an interesting learning thing, isn't it, to go through it?
Oh gosh.
But it's rewarding, I think. I think it's cool to kind of learn. We back in the day, everything we recorded back in the 70s and 80s was on 2-inch tape, and you had to jump through hoops to do reinsert a piece or something. Now everything it feels like cheating in a sense, but it's just kind of cool that the technology allows you to test stuff out.
Yeah.
It's neat when someone hasn't done it before, like Sarah that I work with, Sarah Brandt, Sarah Land. Sarah, hello. Sarah Land. When I set her up with an interface and some software and we shared some files, different than working with us, she went and tried all kinds of crazy stuff because it was just new.
Yeah.
And she was like, ooh, I could do this, I could do that, and do this. And so she ended up having all these harmonies and stuff that I don't think she would have tried when we were all here, where the pressure's on and we're doing the album and everybody's
You're
like,
not thinking about it then.
no,
You're
right.
just trying to hit the
So it's
note.
kind of cool that when you have the time and the knowledge, you can experiment with that stuff.
Oh yeah, and I've definitely found myself exploring new sounds, new harmonies. I mean, I've come up with instrumental combinations that if I were like in a studio on that limited time, limited budget, I never would have tried, you know?
That's it. The
Like
budget.
exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have, you know, it's a wonderful experience when you get the right person in the studio and you really
Oh, it
gel
always
to create.
is.
It's an amazing experience, but
But
for
you
me
are
being
on
a
the
grad
spot.
student,
Yeah.
you know, being a grad student, it's like I don't really have the financial resources to go to the studio right now. So I'm doing as much as I can from home, and then my friend Dryden Mites is going to be mastering it for me,
Cool.
and we're kind of
I
co-producing
think
it in a way
I saw
too.
him on here.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
said
yeah.
he was going to
Well,
tune in.
and,
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. So you've probably you mentioned a player you're working with out of Nashville or
Memphis,
So
yep.
It's kind of neat when
Alice,
you can upload files and
Oh yeah,
and
and
share
I've got
and-
this cellist from who lives in LA, originally from Lincoln, but Justin Leppard has also contributed some cello to this.
cool.
And then I mean the instrumental combinations, like on album 3, which is my proper quarantine album, I've got one song that has ukulele, reversed ukulele because I figured out how to reverse it like Jimi Hendrix did on Are You Experienced. I got really nerdy with it. So we've got ukulele, 3 layers of synth, including synth bass, baritone guitar, and vibraphone.
Wow.
Because we randomly now have a vibraphone at the house where I live.
Wow.
So,
That's
Wow.
cool.
yeah, so it's been a really interesting adventure, just like blending these different sounds that I
Oh,
never
that's
would have
cool.
tried before.
Yeah, it's neat. It's and what's cool too is when you are able to experiment and play with different sounds and parts, then when you finally introduce them to players where you're going to play live or something, it's kind of neat to have them do their interpretation of what you stumble on, because everybody's got their own vibe and thing, and it kind of grows from there. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of on my first album, I had an oboe player from Montreal, this guy Jonathan, who I met at the Silk Road Ensemble's Global Musician Workshop. He played oboe on a couple of tracks, and when I wanted to do my album release show live with all of the instruments that had been represented on the album, I wanted to connect with a local oboist to do that, and we ended up being like really good friends too. Her name's Andrea Smith, and she's going to be playing English horn and a whole bunch of other woodwind instruments on the album this time around.
Oh, that's
so,
cool.
Yeah.
That's so and it's so cool to network with people, and
It is.
you know, we know just from all the people we rolled through our place, we know a lot of people in common, and it's just kind of neat when you work with someone to get their vibe into your mix, and well, that's cool. So you've got the quarantine project. You've got stuff beyond the quarantine project.
Yeah.
Is the quarantine project a concept piece in the sense that is it all related or
Some
not so
of
much?
it, I am going to play one song that from that project. After we get back from break here, I am going to play one song that's like directly related to everything that was going on. But a lot of it is really just like a chronicle of the first 3 months of that time. So it's like when I release it, I'm probably not going to do very much editing. It's going to be very bare bones, acoustic, stripped
Right.
down stuff.
Right.
And
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny because some people we've had through here, when they have all this time on their hands, finally, they can't write because it's
I get that.
it's now it feels like duty, because it's like going to work or whatever, and but there's been people who've been really prolific too. It's just different personalities.
Yeah, I've been really fortunate, I've had all of this creative flow, and then, I've had some really wonderful people come into my life during this time too, and it's like,
I think,
Yeah.
obviously there's been all kinds of bad stuff, but I think there's always some good stuff that comes out of stuff like this. I work remote now, which is amazing, because I've been driving down almost to the airport for 20 years, and so this wouldn't have happened if it didn't, so there are some good things to come out of it. This show that we're doing is, we had planned to do this, not knowing there was going to be a pandemic, and it might have been different, because it might have been harder to get people to be interested in what we're doing, but since there wasn't a lot of places to play, we've had so many amazing talents roll through here. And it's just-
Yourself included.
Yes,
Thank
absolutely. We
you.
feel blessed to have everybody that's been through here.
Oh yeah.
And, it's like, it's kind of weird how it worked out. And so anyway, we're excited. We're so happy to have you. This has been really cool. Is there anything else you want to plug? We've got your, I'll pop up the graphic one again.
Oh, yeah.
But
I do have an upcoming show that I'm really excited about,
Sure.
and I guess it hasn't been formally announced yet, but I'll be playing the Joslyn Castle Arts and Literature Festival here in October, and so I'll be one of many local performers that are a part of that.
cool.
But so that's really my only upcoming show right now. I've been one of those musicians that's really pulled back from live performance as a result of this, and I've been able to pour that creative energy into my writing, my tracking and mixing, and graduate studies as well. But I really haven't felt comfortable going and performing in an enclosed space,
Yep.
with a live audience.
Yep.
It's,
We have friends that are going through some of those same emotions. It's a crazy emotional roller coaster. I mean, it just
everybody's
runs the
dealing
gamut.
with it differently.
Yeah, and like Mace, our buddy Mace came through here,
Yep.
and he had such an interesting take on it because he felt like that he was streaming too much for a bit there because he didn't want to step on the toes of the young folks that need to get out there, and that was just like such a interesting perspective from him because we all have to eat, right? But it was so neat to have Mace. I mean, I think he doesn't need to worry about that. Everybody's got to do their own thing, but it was cool that he was so concerned about some of the younger cats in the space out there.
And that was kind of my thinking too when I decided not to really do the from home live streams, because there are so many musicians for whom that was their primary source of income. I don't want to take that space away from someone who needs it.
Right.
Right.
And we've had some shows. We did the Pine Ridge Toy Drive.
Oh yeah.
But we've had some musicians that also were like, you know what, let's support them too. So this thing's there's been so much love all around, and we've got the Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, a bunch of members from that coming in October, and Carrie Ann next Wednesday, and we finally have Pat Germer coming in on Saturday, and Scott Roth's going to be back. Scott, you're the man. Scott's a regular fixture around here.
Friends.
He's a cool dude, man. He's got, I'm into people that are into what they do. I mean, that to me, and I can see it in you too. And that's kind of the thing that makes, there can be talented musicians that just up there doing the thing, but there's people that are passionate about what they do, and you can feel it. And I love it, and I can feel it when you do it, and I can feel it when a lot of the people that come through here do it. It's just that that moment they're doing it, it's way better than them doing whatever their day gig or whatever else they're like free for a moment, and I love that. I mean, and I think our people that are watching pick up on that too. But so we're gonna everybody refill your drinks. I'm gonna go for a little touch more wine here, and we're gonna let Virginia get set up again. And we're going to carry on with some more tunes and send questions to us. Mars gets your questions via Facebook and Twitch. We get them, send them, request whatever you got, and we'll catch up with you in a moment.
May we get you a glass of wine, a beer?
Red or white?
Red, please.
I'm getting you some.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah. Are we still live?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if we would stay live continuously.
Oh,
cool.
continuously.
All right.
We'll put your
We got all the chatter. Have we had any other hellos from the audience? Any other folks saying
Dryden
hi?
says he's enjoying the show.
Awesome.
Thank you for putting it together.
Awesome. Good stuff.
So, an audio volume could come up, and I accommodated him. So, yeah, it's all good.
Cool.
Eleni Stone?
Ileana, maybe?
Ileana. Oh,
Yes.
my gosh. Okay. Yes.
Yep. She's cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's glad to have gotten your set.
Awesome.
Connie Adams, Keith Nielsen, Frank Garcia,
Keith.
Katie Ann, Brad Frink, Terry
Oh, all right.
Curry.
We're
partying.
rocking now.
All right.
So yeah, Tom Elworth, Michael Chrisman. Thanks all. Marcia
thank
great.
you all for hanging out with us.
Katie
This is so
Ann.
cool for
Oh,
us.
is the water here? Can I
Yep,
get a refill?
yeah, just go ahead.
Okay. I'm just gonna real lazy let out. There we
All
go.
right.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm
Just
gonna
like that.
switch.
Please.
Oh, look at that.
Anybody watching this live, please don't judge
No,
my laziness.
I'm gonna. I'll tell you what. They're gonna look at your resonator for a moment.
Perfect.
We want to thank the reader for carrying our stream. We have Sultry coming up, by the way, too. That's gonna be cool.
Oh yeah.
Ben and
Yeah, last time we saw them was at the Nebraska Blues Challenge, which
Yeah.
was a heck of a lot of
gosh,
fun.
now her name is
Michelle.
Michelle.
Eva Blue.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yep.
Michelle Eva Blue.
Michelle, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's coming up, and so I'm gonna show that to everybody. And the readers carrying our stream, the OEAs, thank you everybody,
Awesome.
appreciate it. And I'm gonna point this light, not in my face, I'm gonna make Virginia suffer some more in the bright lights. You can never have enough light for me. That's kind of how it works.
Yeah. Alright. Get this gal all
She's
tuned
going
up.
with no
Oh, that's right.
headphones, Mama, the rest of the way, I think.
That's right. I'm actually doing my mandolin first.
Mandolin.
Forgot. Okay. I have my one mandolin song. I might actually stick with the headphones. I like being able to hear the whole mix.
All
It's
right.
kind of nice.
Cool. That camera's-
And just let me know when y'all ready
You're
to.
ready.
All right. So this next song, it's a mandolin song, obviously. I wrote this probably the first week of lockdown and here in Omaha, and yeah, I mean, I think it really speaks for itself when you hear the chorus. Someday, before the lightning strikes the plains, I wanna ride a mountain train and rest my head upon your shoulder. We're getting older every day. Someday, before the city locks its doors, I wanna show you something more underneath this wild heart-shaped smile. Hold me a while. Someday, before the world ends, someday, before the world ends, wanna tell you. Someday, after the strawberry ice cream haze of those lazy summer days, will bring us back to where we were. Someday, when the markets and the shops open up their windows to another sunny day, will we wait? Someday, before the world ends, someday, before the world ends, I wanna tell you. Someday, after the tears fall from the sky, feels like a year, feels like a lifeline, watching seasons pass in time. Someday, before the world ends, someday, before the world ends, wanna tell you.
Nice. Very nice.
Thank you. Yep, that's my apocalypse song. Yeah, and when it does come out on album 3, it's the current version of it, though whether I keep that is yet to be determined. The current version is layered with a ton of synths,
Oh, wow.
so it's pretty corny, but I had fun with it. Do you ever walk with your eyes closed? Let the road guide you where to go. You know I always had such high hopes, growing in the ground that let me breathe, becoming, not belonging, never here to stay. Give me rain, give me thunder, give me dreams to wash away. Don't make me stay another day. Ever drive down where you called home? Broken concrete railroad tracks and a drive-in liquor store. Turning where the tarmac meets the gravel drive. Wonder if they're still alive behind those doors. Give me rain, give me thunder, give me dreams to wash away. Don't make me stay another day. Do you ever climb down where the lightning broke the sky? Woke the lowest ground from winter sleep. Slide on down from the cliff to rolling hills. Still another chance to walk away. Give me rain, give me thunder, give me dreams to wash away. Don't make me stay another day. Give me rain, give me thunder, give me dreams to wash away.
Yeah. Very nice.
Thanks. That goes out to every small town I've lived in. As per our earlier conversation.
Yeah. 10,000 is pretty small.
Tis indeed. Yeah, I wrote quite a few songs while I was living in Vermilion too, like Trickster's Kiss, which I played earlier. I wrote that while I was sitting by the creek, which they call the Vermilion River. But
I don't think I ever made it there.
yeah.
Oh, yes we did.
Did we?
Park.
Mars knows.
Drive down to the park and there's the...
Yep.
That's
Did
it.
you ever
That's
go
the
to
one.
winery?
Oh yeah. I think somebody I knew did a show there,
Yeah, it
maybe.
was actually kind of a cool place. Wine wasn't very good, but
very subtle shade.
We took some home with us, and
And then,
whoops.
no,
With the wine, we had some there
that's
that
not
was,
what we drank.
no.
Yeah. Oh, well.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Valiant Vineyards.
Valiant.
That's
what
the name
was.
of it. Okay. Okay.
The official wine of Sturgis.
Ah.
Yes, it is the official wine of Sturgis.
Good to know.
There you go.
Not that they're drinking a lot of wine in Sturgis, but
Yeah.
Somebody.
All right. Well, this next tune that I'm going to play, this one, I actually wrote and tracked this with resonator, mandolin, lap steel guitar, and multiple layers of voice in a single day. And I just now, like this week, arranged it for one guitar.
oh, cool.
So, yeah, this will be a little bit of an adventure. Come a little closer now. Let me hear your footsteps on the floor again, whispering through walls of glass, grasping for your hand to hold on to. Let me see you smile. Falling fast into your arms, this darkness that I find. Here we are, you've come so far, you've seen 5 years in a day. Longing just to stay, naive a little longer. All the troubles in this world turning in your mind and in your tender heart, trying just to ride the wave, giving up on dreaming of a better day. Take the time to breathe. Holding to the boy you were and now the man you are, still inside those tired eyes. You've seen 5 years in a day, longing just to stay, naive a little longer. Hold on to each other. We've seen 5 years in a day, Thank you.
Love it.
Dryden is tearing up.
Oh, Dryden has been there with me through the writing of all of these songs, and he has listened to all of the stories behind them. So, true friend, true friend. Yeah, that song takes it out of me. I need a happy song. All right, so yeah, this is a love song. All this talk of summertime, it makes me want to linger till the snow, it stops to fall down from the sky. Twisted tangle, talking about the memory of a day that drifted by. But here in the sweet smelling candlelight, won't you linger here with me until the dawn? That's why I'm always the first to fall. Tell me the secret of your smile. Is it wrapped inside the pages of a book? Ancient roads painted with prose. You only gotta know just where to look. Take me there with whispers from your dreams into my own. That's why I'm always the first to fall. Skin to skin and drown as you lift a taunting finger from my lips. Give to me some secrets so I can feel your tongue whispering in my ear. That's why I'm always the first to fall. And that one's a lot of fun.
That's very pretty.
Thank you. Yeah, on the record, that one I play on a 1972 Guild 12 string.
Wow.
Yeah.
When did you start playing guitar?
Gosh. So I started on piano when I was about 5. We had a little Yamaha in the house growing up, and so I messed around on that quite a bit. But I got my first guitar, I think in 2009.
Okay.
So, yeah, a while ago.
Former lessons or no?
Yeah, yes, I did, yeah. So I've had a few teachers over the years. Started with this guy who was really into bebop jazz that he named his child Charlie Parker.
Wow.
So, yeah, my face, exactly. My second lesson was here's the circle of fifths, map out all of the scales. So,
Nice.
Yeah, so I started with that, and then had a couple of more classically focused teachers, and then once I started playing out, I studied under Hadley Haven at UNO for a little while, and yeah. So studied under him for a couple of years. Pardon?
To blow.
He's got his own Latin group, yeah.
Oh yes, that's right.
They played our
Yes,
place a few
I forgot
times.
about that. That they played, but yeah. So I studied under him for a while, and then I just kind of let the guitar lessons slide when I started getting busy with live performances and writing and studio recording. So I haven't been in lessons solidly for a while, but I've been in quite a few workshops. I've attended the Global Musician Workshop twice. Songwriting workshop hosted by Richard Thompson and his family, Frets and Refrains. I've been to that up in the Catskills in New York, but other than that, my formal music education has kind of slowed down a little bit, but I stay busy.
Yeah, you got a lot of different influences.
Yeah, hard to balance with grad school.
I bet.
But yeah, and I do write on the piano still. I have a synth at home with unweighted keys that I use for writing.
Nice.
So, yeah. I do still do a lot on the piano, just not quite as much as the guitar. And I'm still mildly scared to play the piano in live settings. So that's why you don't see a keyboard here today.
Wow.
Yeah. So this next song that I'm going to play, once I get a drink of water, this is going to be the title track off of album 2. So it's a song called Restless Young Thing. Do you remember how we were in the cold blue light of her, shining down from deep vermilion skies, pretending that my vision's blurred and mind all wound too tight, one sleepless night after another. Still taste bitters on my tongue, and you're the only one I'm dreaming of. Isn't this what I sought out by lamplight? Isn't solitude the sweetest delight? Once in the light of the moon, you remember me telling you how it was real. Once in the light of the moon, you remember me telling you how it would feel. This restless young thing went out chasing the moon. How was I fooled into thinking you might come away with me? I could fall for you so easily. Would it be the way that things should be? Like a fool, I'm waiting for you, waiting for the candles to blow out, one by one and one by one. And will you turn around? Will you turn around and see me singing, singing to myself? And in pretty words I cannot bring to lips, your fingertips dancing on my skin. Once in the light of the moon, you remember me telling you how it was real. Once in the light of the moon, you remember me telling you how it would feel. This restless young thing went out chasing the moon. How was I fooled into thinking you might come away with me? I named the stars a kaleidoscope, counting the ways they flicker. periwinkle skies, 1 nonsense and 3 fluttering pavement glimmers at my feet, the sound of me walking away. This restless young thing went out chasing the moon. How was I fooled into thinking you might come away with me?
Very nice.
Thank you.
That was energetic.
Yeah.
I want to know that story.
We can tell it after the live stream ends. Because it is a story. And I've told it pretty much literally in the song. So. Alright, well I think I've just got a couple more in me for today. So this next song that I'm going to play, this next one is off of album 3, which I've been working on. It's nice to get the opportunity to play some of these newer tunes like in a more live setting for actual human beings instead of just the microphone. So it's really, really nice. Because for a lot of these, it's actually the first time they've been played in any sort of live setting. So, yeah. Yes. Almost there. It's a song about friendship. I took a walk to try not to think, and I thought of you all the way down. I took a drive to the bridge on the creek, and I daydreamed a night on the town. About gardens, talk about grief, talk about the wild things we've seen. Wandering where we weren't supposed to be, take me adventuring. Day by day, minute by minute, hour at a time, as we slowly settle back into ourselves, as we slowly settle back into ourselves. Slept through Sunday afternoon, all those hours catching up to you. Every slow day that you need, Thursday, Saturday too. Day by day, minute by minute, hour at a time, as we slowly settle back into ourselves, as we slowly settle back into ourselves. Open up your broken window, let in every light. Let yourself remember what it felt like to shine. These troubled times we're living in, given to fly away and break free. we slowly settle back into ourselves, as we slowly settle back into ourselves, as we slowly settle back into ourselves, as we slowly settle back into ourselves.
That's very pretty.
Thank you. Yeah, that one on the record has tons of like interlayered harmonies too. So I'm thinking, what time are we at?
Good.
One more?
Sure.
All right.
Nice sounding resonator, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Very nice tone.
Yeah.
And you've got the thumb and the...
Oh yeah, so I'm using the thumb pick. So the point of the thumb pick is to kind of give some more punch to the bass lines, because I do a lot of, and especially on this next tune you're going to hear some alternating bass lines on here, but it just gives that extra punch for hybrid picking, and it's something that I adopted from Richard Thompson and going to his songwriting camp. So
That
yeah,
sounds great.
thanks. Yeah, I have a lot of fun with it. I didn't do hybrid picking before, like probably last year. I just recently started it, but I realized that you can do palm muting a lot more effectively.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah, I got that nice like almost cowboy music type palm muting sound. So we'll see if I remember all the words for this one. I just finished it last night. And it's been in progress for a long time, but I've been struggling to find the words for the last verse. And it might still evolve. But it's too much fun to play. I want to see us thriving, not striving to be seen, but climbing high into the sky, where they will see us and they'll shout, she has almost reached those dreams she talked about. I want to see a world where we can sweep aside the tatters of the curtains that we kept to cover windows to the sky and shattered ceiling. Step back, make way, don't underestimate the change we made. Step back, don't say we're just the pretty little doves calling for a change. To see a city where the sidewalks and the walls are painted everywhere with faces that have led us this far. I want to see a neighborhood where all the local papers talk about the way the world is changing fast. But here at last are we. Step back, make way, don't underestimate the change we made. Step back, don't say we're just the pretty little doves calling for a change. Step back, make way. Don't underestimate the change we made. Step back, don't say we're just the pretty little doves calling for a change.
Nice. And resolved.
For
Mars
you.
right at the end.
For
yeah.
you, Mars.
Thank you so much, Virginia. That was a beautiful set.
Thank
you.
you. Thank you
sharing
for
that
having
new
me
song
here.
with us.
Thanks
Yeah.
everybody for tuning in. We're gonna tell Mark Zuckerberg to go to sleep now.
Thank you, Lord Mark.
Thanks everybody. We'll see you Saturday. Okay.
For Mr. Gearman and Mr. Watt.
Okay, I am almost. I'm working on it.
Do you have to come over here?